Greetings, everyone. Well, we've come to the end of our third week of TE 100, and I really appreciate the diligent work that everyone is putting in this course. I know that particularly at the beginning, everything seems pretty confusing, but hopefully we're going to take things one step at a time, and we'll deal with anything that's confusing and kind of move on from there. I want to thank all of you for your diligent work this last week and completing your posts on Why Teach. Over the weekend, I will go ahead and post some feedback in the Module 2 feedback link of our site, and then also I will post your scores on the Grade Center or in the Grade Center sometime over the weekend. So I hope to get that done as soon as I possibly can, but you can check in either over the weekend or by the first of the week for sure to get that information. I've got about 5 priorities that I really want to share with you for this next week, and so again I'm going to try to take those in order to make some sense out of what we're about right now anyway. The first of those priorities is that make sure that you are ready for your school visits this next week. Thank you everyone who's communicated with me, and if you have, I've provided information to your schools ahead of time so that they will be ready for your visit. But in order to prepare, what I want to make sure that you do is go to the School Visits tab in our Blackboard site and simply open that. Read through the general instructions again for the school visits to make sure that you have everything covered. And I'm going to look at some notes here and make sure I don't miss anything. Go to that tab. Then what I would like you to do also is to gather some information about that school on the internet. A popular place if you're in Nebraska is go to the Nebraska Department of Education website. You can find schools' home pages, whatever you need to do to find some information out about that school. Find out size, characteristics, spending patterns if you like, or anything that you think is significant about the school, because what I'd like you to do is to make sure you have at least 2 or maybe 3 questions about the school ready for you when you go on your visit, so that you can ask the contact person some questions about that school, and so that will certainly help deepen your learning anyway. The second thing that I want you to do then is to make sure that you go into the specific directions for our first school visit to the high schools, and make sure you note what you need to do to get ready and dress and some of those kinds of things. In the Blackboard site we've got a lot of information about that, but make sure that you arrive at the school promptly when you say that you're going to be there. You may not have an ID at this point. If you're on campus, students, you probably have a student ID. If you do, bring that with you. If not, oftentimes schools will ask that you put on a temporary identification card to wear in the school, but make sure you're ready with that. Make sure you dress professionally. No jeans. Make sure you're representing UNK, and we want to make sure that you look like a professional. We really would require dress slacks or skirts for ladies if necessary, or if appropriate anyway. Certainly no shorts, no sandals. We want full shoes, those kinds of things. Also notice that when you're in schools, you cannot have any tattoos showing. So if you have tattoos that are visible, make sure you cover them in one way or another. Piercings, other than on the ears, are also prohibited. So if you have piercings on your nose, for instance, or lips, or any other kinds of piercings that are visible, make sure you take care of those. Either cover them up or take the item of the piercing out for the visit. Certainly no bagging or sagging of pants. No visible midriff can be seen. If ladies, and I say this for guys too on occasion, make sure if the straps on your shirt are at least 4 inches wide, no tank tops, those kinds of things. As I've said, no sandals or flip-flops. You can find all that information in Blackboard, but make sure that you adhere to our dress code anyway. Then, when you're on the visit, a couple things that you need to make sure you bring with you. First of all, make sure that you bring a copy of Appendix B1, which is the note-taking worksheet, and that will help you and guide you with the kinds of things that you will be looking for, as well as Appendix B2, which is the 4 moral dimensions checklist. That will help you identify behaviors that you can categorize under democracy anyway as the 4 moral dimensions. Okay? So with those things in mind, you should be ready for the school visit. One last thing, make sure you bring a card or something that you can write a thank you note or thank you notes to the school. Make sure you write a sentence or two thanking the teacher that you're observing. You might put down something of particular interest that you saw or something you really liked. That's really helpful. And then also provide a thank you note to your contact person. In most cases, that will be the principal. We really appreciate the time and the efforts that schools go through to allow us to visit, and want to make sure we recognize that. Okay, so for priority number 1 is to make sure you're ready for the school visit. Priority number 2 is that remember that by Friday, next Friday on the 17th, you are to post another report on the discussion board on the things that you've learned in your school visit. Make sure you post that by Friday. You've got a few days to read your fellow students' posts and then respond to those, but make sure you get that completed. Actually, you have till Wednesday of the 22nd to make your responses. Some things are overlapping here too. Make sure that on Tuesday of next week, which would be priority number 3, that you put your other post on the discussion board. There's a post due on some readings for the discussion board. Make sure you get that completed as well. And then the 4th priority is you have your school visit paper that you need to complete. You need to write up some of your findings from your first school visit. I would refer you to page 17 of our course materials for specific instructions, but in general, note that the report needs to be about 750 words. Generally speaking, that would be about 2.5 pages double spaced. There are a number of things you need to cover in that report. I would suggest that you use Appendix B, which is the rubric that I will use to score the report. If you follow that, you'll have everything in it that you really need for the report. Those reports are due to me by Wednesday, the 22nd next week. So make sure that, or not next week, the week after next, I'm sorry, the week after your school visits have been completed. But make sure you get those to me. You can send those to me as an email attachment. And then finally, our 5th priority for next week is look at the information again in your tab in Blackboard for the Service Learning Project. Remember that you need to be thinking about where you want to conduct your project. There's really not an imminent deadline right now in terms of something you need to get to me, but make sure you go follow the instructions. You're instructed to do some interviews with community organizations. Pick an organization and a person that would be willing to work with you. Make sure you email me that information as well so that I can move forward with it. Those then have to be approved by Jerry Sturtz, our Director of Service Learning. If you have any questions about service learning, please don't hesitate to contact me. Well, it seems like a lot, I understand, but again, take it piece by piece, bit by bit, and ask me questions as we go. Let me know how I can help you. Take care, everyone, and have a great week.